video. Now in today's video we're gonna be doing wife. Naruto was Elisabeth and Maliodas' son pretty much. Or Maliodas and Elisabeth's son, part 1. So yeah, and as you can see the shape is gonna be Conan pretty much. So yeah. And she's pretty much gonna have a whole different backstory and everything. So that's that. And yeah. Pretty much we're gonna start off at the what's it called? The freaking end of pretty much Maliodas. I mean Seven Deadly Sins. Yeah, Seven Deadly Sins. Pretty much where Naruto will be born instead of whatever his name was. I forgot Maliodas' son name pretty much. But yeah, this it's gonna be pretty much Naruto instead of whoever was born in Mario Seven Deadly Sins. But yeah, I'm gonna say pretty much after Naruto was born, that there was like a freaking high class demon that pretty much betrayed them. So I'm just gonna say that class demon was pretty close to Naruto, so they kind of had to send him away to not die pretty much. So yeah, just pretty much something like that. And I'm gonna say pretty much what's it called? Conan was actually an angel in this one, and the angels pretty much sensed that Elisabeth got a son, so they sent Conan down to pretty much watch over him and pretty much protect him in any way she can, pretty much like be helpful pretty much. So yeah, and she's pretty much the same age as Naruto, so like yeah, just like the same age but like 1 or 2 years, like 1 year older. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And yeah, and her wings are gonna be pretty much that color. She's still gonna have the paper thing and all that. It's just that she's gonna have the same intro ability like arcs and stuff. So yeah, that pretty much happens. And I'm gonna say pretty much she comes down and sees that a portal just opened in the Naruto world, and he sees a baby coming out of it with like a note on the door of him and stuff, like a freaking paper and stuff like. And in the paper, it pretty much writes that this is her son Naruto. This is pretty much from Elisabeth and Maliodas and stuff, telling them who Naruto is and who their parents is and stuff. So yeah, and pretty much I'm gonna say Minato and Kushina had a daughter in this one. So yeah, it's pretty much gonna be Mito. I forgot to put a picture of it. I'm gonna put one in the next part. My bad. But yeah, she's pretty much same age as Naruto as well. So yeah, and she has the good half of Nine Tails, and now Minato pretty much sealed away the bad half of Nine Tails into like Naruto, because he was just there and then he noticed that Mito couldn't take all of it, so he gave her the good half and gave Naruto the bad half. But by accident, he didn't know which door was the difference and didn't really have time. So yeah, that pretty much happens. And when the Nine Tails gets sealed inside Naruto, when he's like in the mindscape, pretty much the mindscape is kind of like purgatory. So it's like pretty much like a wasteland, and there's like hellfire everywhere, like hell blaze and stuff. So yeah, the Nine Tails is kind of scared. So yeah, you see how Maliodas has black fire coming out of him? That's pretty much the hell blaze. So yeah. And Naruto still gets hated because he still has the Nine Tails, which Danzo the prick gave it away. So does Mito actually, but like a little less. So she still has some friends. Like she has Uselessness, Shinata, and I'm gonna say she knows Chikamaru and Shoji as well. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much Naruto, when he's like 3 years old, the only thing he really wants to do is to protect Mito. Like that's the only thing he really wants. Is just to protect her. And yeah. He doesn't care if the villagers hate him and stuff, which they normally do. But yeah, that's he doesn't really care about that. He just wants Mito to be happy and have the best life she can, pretty much. That's the only thing he really wants. Anyways, pretty much, Naruto trains a bit, and I'm gonna say when Naruto saved Hinata, pretty much, the bullies beat up Naruto like cannon, but after a while, I'm gonna say they pretty much Mito was coming and saw Hinata there getting bullied and Naruto on the floor, and she got mad and pretty much rushed at the bullies and started fighting with them, but she also got beat up. And Naruto was knocked out when he opened his eyes and saw Mito on the ground bleeding. He just lost it and pretty much the darkness came over him, kind of like this, but like not like that level. It's just like the mark on top of his forehead, pretty much, and like a little bit on the skin. So yeah, if you watch the 70 Sins, you know how when Maliodas was in that fighting festival, when he kind of lose control and after that got seen the goddess symbol, that's pretty much how he was. Like all his skin was like bulging out and stuff by darkness, pretty much that. Anyways, that pretty much happens, and Naruto pretty much kills them. Like he just pretty much used the darkness and burns them alive, pretty much. And then he pretty much gets knocked out. And I'm gonna say he pretty much, I'm gonna say he actually goes into his mindscape. And the Ninetales like, kid, what the hell is that power and stuff? And Naruto's like, I don't know, it's probably yours, you stupid fox, pretty much. And Ninetales like, shut up, just tell me what that power is, pretty much. Because he's kind of scared of it and wants to know what it is so he can pretty much make sure it won't be able to hurt him. And I'm gonna say pretty much Ninetales and Naruto are arguing for like 10 to 20 minutes, just screaming at each other pretty much. Until they pretty much hear dark, like a dark laughter, like evil freaking laughter pretty much in the background. And they pretty much stop arguing and look at pretty much behind Naruto. And then they pretty much see a pretty much darkish purple fire coming over. Like a giant fire, kind of like the Ninetales size, but like it's dark and purple, but it's like just not shaped in any face. It's just like fire, and it pretty much comes over and jumps on Naruto. Pretty much goes inside of Naruto, and Naruto pretty much starts going crazy in his mindscape. And I'm gonna say pretty much they brought Naruto to the third Hokage, and when the darkness was taking over a little bit, and the mark pretty much appeared, and Naruto was screaming out pretty much, and a bunch of darkness went over him pretty much, like started taking over pretty much. So like half his body was covered in darkness pretty much, literally just pure darkness. And in the mindscape, pretty much Naruto was trying to pull it off pretty much, which I'm gonna say he managed to do because it's his mind, so he's kind of has control over it. So he managed to do it, but barely, and he puts the darkness in a cage, pretty much, kind of like Kuroma's cage. So yeah, he does that pretty much, and Naruto and Kuroma pretty much ask the darkness what it is and stuff, or who it is, and the darkness laughs and says, "I'm you," pretty much, and they're like, "What do you mean you him and stuff?" And he explained that he's kind of like Naruto's power, and they're like, What is that? Oh, what kind of power is that anyway?" And he's like, his demon power, his demonic power, pretty much. And they ask him why did he attack himself, pretty much. And he's like, "Oh, I needed to take over before the angel side took over." And he's like, "Angel side?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's a half demon, half angel, pretty much." He explained that much to them and stuff. So yeah, and they're like, "So, who did you do like know his parents and stuff?" And the darkness is that, well, yeah, kind of. I know, like, he knows that pretty much only Maliodas and Elisabeth. He kind of sensed that he's from Maliodas and Elisabeth because that's literally Maliodas and Elisabeth power into him, pretty much. So yeah, he kind of tells him that he's like the Demon King's son, and the freaking goddess is whatever Princess Goddess or whatever Elizabeth was in canon. Daughter. I mean son. Fuck. And yeah, which I'm gonna say, Kurama's like, what? He's an actual demon and stuff. And yeah, he kind of gets scared of Naruto. And Naruto's like, eh. Anyway, he asks Kurama if they want to be friends. Which Kurama's like, he doesn't wanna, but he's kind of scared to be mean to the kid anymore. So he's like, yeah, I'll think about it. And Naruto's like, okay. And he asks the darkness, what about him and stuff. And the darkness like, why would I be friends with you and stuff? And Naruto's like, well, you're part of me anyway and stuff. Which the darkness says, well, I can just take over you and stuff and just destroy everything because that's what I really want and stuff. But I could pretty much, but I can give you a little bit of darkness, but not too much. So yeah, he's like with Naruto pretty much. He's not like friends or anything. He's just like trying to take over, but he doesn't really mind giving him a little bit of help, like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit over what he can actually give. So yeah, pretty much Naruto, in the real life, in the real world, pretty much, Mito's just like looking at Naruto, worried pretty much, and this is all happening when Naruto's like 3. So yeah, and pretty much the third Hokage is trying to push the darkness away until Naruto pretty much opens his eyes and pretty much blows the third Hokage away with the darkness pretty much, because darkness is kind of hard to control, which is pretty much why Maliodas had to go pretty much emotionless. So yeah, anyways, pretty much Naruto blows the third Hokage away, and then after a little bit he just pretty much takes back control, and only his eyes, with one of his eyes like dark now, and then he just passes out, pretty much sleeps. And yeah, pretty much the next day they wake up and stuff, and the Hokage asks Naruto what that was, and pretty much what's it called? Naruto explains that whole thing, and so Mito says, so if that's your parent, that's my parent and stuff, right? And Naruto's like, I don't know. And yeah, pretty much that happens. So the third Hokage knows that Naruto isn't Mito's sister, but Mito and Naruto don't. But still have a brother and sister relationship, by the way. So yeah, that pretty much happens. Time skip to when pretty much when Naruto's like 5. And Naruto's been pretty much trying to meditate and talk to Kurama and the darkness, which he has been doing pretty much. And Kurama's like, he doesn't want to be the kid's friends, like, to be honest. He doesn't really wanna, but he kind of has to, so he is kind of friends with him. So yeah, it's like a weird, complex relationship. So yeah, but over time he finds out that Naruto isn't that bad, so he doesn't force himself to be friends with him too much anymore. He's like, he's like, okay, whatever, pretty much. So yeah, and Conan's pretty much been pretty much been watching over Naruto this whole time. She's just been like pretty much like or Hinata, pretty much. So yeah, and I'm gonna say one night pretty much Naruto was was training a lot, and the darkness is like Naruto can use it like yeah, in both his eyes now. He can do it in both his eyes. But I'm not gonna make him be able to use all the thing in like one star with 2 OP as fuck. Cause like Assault mode Maliodas can shit on Madara. Like he can freaking play with Madara just like freaking Kakashi versus Sasuke as a kid. Literally. So yeah, he would destroy that nigga. Anyways, pretty much time skip to when Naruto is 8. Naruto goes in the academy, which he sees Uncle what the fuck? Conan. He sees Conan there. And Conan walks up to Naruto and says, "So, yo Naruto Uzumaki." Well, not really Uzumaki. It's just like, you Naruto. And he's like, "Yeah, and who are you again?" And like, have we met or something? And she's like, "No, I'm Conan. I'm an angel sent to pretty much watch over you." And he's like, "An angel? So you know about angel stuff and stuff like that?" So she's like, "Yeah." And so Naruto pretty much pulls her to a corner and stuff, and pretty much asks her what she know about angels, and she pretty much explains that she's pretty much sent there to watch over him, and that his mom was like Elisabeth, the princess or whatever for the angels, like the next ruler or whatever, and that Maliodas was the next Demon King, which he successfully became the Demon King and all that. But yeah, he explains what happened pretty much in the freaking Maliodas universe. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much Naruto is like, oh, okay and stuff. And he pretty much what's it called? Yeah, in that time, pretty much Naruto and Kurama became friends. So Naruto can use the Naruto freaking tails and stuff, like the chakra tails, like all the way up to like 4 tails. Yeah. Not trying to make Naruto too OP though. Damn it. Anyways, pretty much that happens, and but he doesn't really use it too much. So yeah, and so does Kurama in the other one, Mito, are like friends, like they're close friends and stuff. Because Naruto just explained that Kurama told him that his other half is in Mito and stuff. So he told Mito, and Mito tried talking to him, which she was surprised that he was actually nice, because they explained the whole thing with the good half and the bad half. So yeah. So she's like, "Oh, okay, that's probably why." And Mito actually felt bad for Naruto because she was like, "So your Naruto is gonna be mean to you," and Naruto was like, "He's not that mean. He's just, I don't know. He's not that bad, to be honest." And the other Naruto explains that pretty much the only reason he's not like trying to kill you is because he can't, because you're a freaking demon. But yeah. Which I'm gonna say Mito knows by this point because the other Ninetales told her. So yeah. But it doesn't really affect the relationship, so yeah. Still see each other as brother and sister pretty much. But yeah, anyways. Naruto pretty much asked Conan about the angels and stuff, and she explained how they have angel wings, which she pulls out angel wings, which in this one she doesn't have to use paper wings because she has actual angel wings, which kind of matches her because she wanted to be an angel with Pain, which was like a god, and she was like the angel pretty much. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much she pulls out her angel wings and stuff, and she explains to Naruto that his wings might be a little bit different because she's like angel and demon. So yeah. And And pretty much Naruto's like, oh, okay and stuff. And I'm gonna say pretty much they go back to class pretty much. This I'm gonna say pretty much Conan explains that, she's supposed to be watching over him. So he's like, okay, so we want, stay close or something. And she's like, oh, right, that would be better and that would be good and stuff. So they pretty much sit together with Naruto, Mito, and Conan. So yeah. And Hinata, she's just like doing her own thing pretty much. Anyways, pretty much Naruto time skip to when Naruto's like 12 or whatever, like 3 years time skip when the freaking last gaining exam pretty much was happening. They pretty much go to school with Mito waking Naruto up and cooking breakfast because Naruto can't cook. And yeah, and Mito can use up to the 5 tail because the chakra of this Naruto is a lot less evil because this Naruto is the good half. So yeah, and Mito's body is it's kind of strong, but like it's not stronger than Naruto's because Naruto's a freaking demon, but it's strong because she's a Uzumaki. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much Naruto and Mito go to the academy and stuff. And oh yeah, when Naruto was flashback, when Naruto was like 4, Naruto got attacked by villagers pretty much, and the villagers was about to beat him up until the until pretty much the freaking darkness pretty much told Naruto to just kill them and stuff, which Naruto kind of was weak minded at that point. So darkness took over and pretty much burned the Hellblaze and burned the fuck out of them. Which, if you don't know, Hellblaze is actually harder than Amaterasu, so yeah, they got a long death pretty much. Anyways, pretty much, I'll go back to the beginning exam. Pretty much, Naruto, he gets pretty much kind of similar score as Kanin, except for the kunai test. He gets like a 7 or 8 or something. And in the fight between Sasuke and Naruto beats the fuck up Sasuke. Like, he beats him up every time. Because, like, Sasuke is weak compared to Naruto in this one. Like, he's weak as fuck compared to him. So, yeah. But Sasuke sees Naruto as a rival, but not too much for Sasuke. Naruto doesn't see him as too much of a rival, though. He must see Konan as one because she's a lot stronger than Sasuke, and she's like the same waist that can actually keep up somewhat. So, yeah. And pretty much Konan showed that she can heal herself, so yeah. Which I want to say, she's been training with Naruto in these 3 years. When Naruto can actually use the eyes, pretty much. So yeah, need the eyes with the angel, which yeah, it's like yellow and stuff. So yeah, anyways, but you can't really do much with it because yeah. Anyways, Naruto and Conan became pretty good friends to be honest, and Mito as well. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much the team is Naruto, Conan, and what to do with this one? I'm gonna say it's a 4-man team, which is Naruto, Conan, Mito, and Sasuke. And Uchiha Massacre still happened, so yeah, keep that in mind. And yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, Kakashi comes in, there's no prank in this one because Naruto isn't a goofball. He's more like trying to chill because he realized that the more he's like not going crazy about emotions and stuff, the more he can use the darkness. So he's been trying to not go crazy about emotions. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much Naruto. I'm gonna say Conan just uses her wings and pretty much grabs Naruto and Mito and goes up and leaves Sasuke behind because he doesn't care about Sasuke that much. And Sasuke gets annoyed and goes off and stuff, like runs off pretty much. So yeah, and Sakura is just whatever. She's just like, I don't know. She's just like pretty much away. Like we don't need her in there. You should say since she didn't get put in the same team as a Sasuke gun, she pretty much quit being a ninja. So yeah, good for her, bro. Anyways, pretty much Naruto goes off and stuff, and he still has the same question. And Sasuke says the exact same thing, except he says there's also someone beat looking at Naruto pretty much. Mito says, "Oh, I want to be the." I don't know. She just want to be a good kunoichi pretty much. And Naruto says, "I want to be able to control my power pretty much. So and meet my parents." Pretty much, that's all he pretty much says. Which kind of interests Kakashi, but he's like, Pocky doesn't know his parent is dead, but yeah. And now, Conan says, well, I guess I just want to be a good kunoichi, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna say Naruto says he likes to like Mito and Conan, and that's about it. And in Kurama, which only Mito knows about Kurama, so yeah. And yeah, they just don't bother asking. Mito says he likes the same thing, pretty much. So yeah, except right now it's until Mito. But yeah, anyways, now they go to a belt test. Everyone eats except for Sasuke. Because Conan knows that's a joke, and Naruto does as well, and he tells Mito, which Mito also kind of sends with the good half Kurama, so yeah. Anyways, that happens pretty much, and Naruto, they pretty much go to the training ground and stuff, and waits for Kakashi, and he appears like freaking 2 to 3 hours later. And yeah, he tells him about the bell test, and everyone pretty much goes away except for Mito in this one, and she fights with Kakashi. And the same thing pretty much happened in canon, because when Naruto passed the thing, pretty much Mizuki pretty much was like, oh Naruto, if you take the thing, like this wasn't a real test. You have to take the thing to pass it. The freaking school of sitting, which Naruto knew it was a lie, but he went along with it just to get the guy caught. And told the Hokage, and yeah, the Hokage pretty much agreed. He just made like a transformation or something and gave it to Mizuki. And Mizuki was like, and I'm gonna say Mito came along, and Mizuki was like, oh, you wanna know why you hated? Oh, the Nine Tails and stuff like that. And Naruto and Mito laugh and pretty much says, well, we already knew about that. And he was like, holy shit, I'm dead now and stuff pretty much. So yeah, he got beat up, and yeah. Anyways, pretty much the thing happened with Mito, that happens with Naruto and Kanon, because she doesn't really want to use the Ninetales chakra, so nobody knows about it except for Naruto. So yeah, Sasuke comes out, gets his ass ended, and then Konan and Naruto come out pretty much with Naruto activating, using some chakra to buff his body and stuff. And Conan, she's using a paper release. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much. Sorry about that. My sister's being so freaking loud, bro. Just woke up and she's being loud as fuck. Anyways, pretty much Conan managed to get a paper to pretty much wrap on the bells and take it for him if Kakashi knowing. So yeah, so they pretty much passed. So yeah. Anyways, pretty much Kakashi is like, how did you do that and stuff, and she explains. And yeah, they pretty much, oh freaking gosh, sorry about that, but I just can't redo this shit, bro. Anyways, they pretty much explain to him what happened. So yeah, they pretty much do the 1 month missions and stuff. Freaking gosh. So yeah, they pretty much do the 1 month mission. I'm just gonna end this real quick because I don't want to hear that shit. Anyways, they pretty much end do the 3 year time skip. I mean, 3 freaking 1 month mission. I can't freaking talk anymore. Do a 1 month mission pretty much. And yeah, Tazuna, they get the Tazuna mission. And yeah, Tazuna makes Sasuke and Mito in this one, which Mito doesn't really care too much about. So yeah. Anyways, that happened. So yeah, it's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. Hope you guys like it and subscribing. See about the background noise, bro. My little sister's being loud as hell. So yeah. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.